Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you have got a bit lost. Welcome everyone, I'm Chattie, this is my channel Chattie the Mad Chatter, and I am going to be chatting away madly about my physical TBR. So this is part 2. If you have missed part 1, I will put a link here and you can hear the beginning of it. But basically I managed to do the whole way and then I ran out of time to film. So we're doing the rest of the downstairs today. So let's crack on. So the bookshelf I have here sits in our lounge area. And I just have this one shelf where I store my books. So this tends to be like my children's bookshelf. So there isn't actually any books on here apart from one that I'm going to be counting in this. So here we have a selection of sort of like picture books, mythology books, and stories, for example, stories about boys who dare to be different, where I've read some bits of them, but not all of them, but I'm not really counting it as a book that I'm going to be reading from cover to cover because it's very much like a dipping in book. And I've read Winnie the Pooh, I've read Wind in the Willows, but not from this copy. I've dipped in and out of these Shakespeare ones, and I have read both The Restless Girls illustrated story and the story of Babushka. Haven't got any plans to reread them at the moment, so sometimes I do put rereads on my physical TBR because it's still part of the books that I want to read, they're just not new to me. I recently read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, and this is the television dramatized version with the illustrations in here, and then I have the other one. All these books I have read that are behind me, and I'm just going to swap sides now. Oh, there we go. And then here I've got the Nevermore and Amari books. I've read all of those, plus Cornelia Funke's Dragon Rider. I have discovered there are actually other books in that series, so I might reread that at some point and then carry on, but it's not on the agenda for any time soon. I need to try and squeeze Alice on here. This is a very weird angle I'm at. I need to try and fit Alice on this shelf. She was on a different shelf and I've had to move her, so I want to kind of put her on here, so I am going to need to rearrange, but not right now. So the only book that I'm really putting on here is The Secret Garden by Franz Hodgson Burnett. I have read it, but I haven't reread it in a really long time, and I have never read it from this copy. So that is just the one book from this shelf. So that brings us to a total of, I think it's 17, but I will check my notes. So it's actually 19 books so far on the physical TBR. So I've now moved over to sort of like the opposite side of the lounge, and then we've got this taller bookcase here, and I have got 2 shelves of my books here, both double stacked. So the top one is classics, and then the bottom one is poetry, novels in verse, and just sort of a general mishmash. So I'm going to go closer in so you can actually see them. So here are quite a lot of my favourite classes, mainly Jane Austen. So I have, wobbly camera at the moment. I've got the Lady Susan Sanderson and the History of England. I think the Watsons are in there as well. I have read the incomplete novels, but I haven't read the History of England. So that is another one. All of the other works I have completed. So I've got Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park, 2 copies of Persuasion. I do want to read from that new Seasons edition. I haven't read from that one. This one has been read so many times. Seasons edition of Sense and Sensibility, Emma, Pride and Prejudice. I am going to just put Sense and Sensibility on my reread list because I do really feel like I want to reread that one soon. Actually, no, I'm going to put Persuasion as well because I've not read from that copy, so that makes sense. So that's another 3. And then moving on to my other cloth-bound edition. And then I have other cloth-bound books. If you can hear humming in the background, that is my little dormouse, my youngest son, who wants to provide some background music for you. So there you go. I've got Oliver Twist, which I've read, Jane Eyre, Tenant of Whitefell Hall, and then the complete works of Nella Larsen. Out of these, the only copy I haven't read from, I haven't fully read. I started Jane Eyre, got distracted by something else and never finished, so I'm putting Jane Eyre on the list as well. So from this shelf, that brings us to 23 on the physical TBR. Behind those, I have the Crawford Scandal, which I've read, Jane Austen's Letters, again, started not finished, so that's another one. Evelina, I've never read. And then there's my paperback copy of Lady Susan Sanditon and the Watsons, because that was the original edition I read it from. This one, Dangerous Liaisons by Chaudelos de Laclos. I started this one and was interested to a certain extent, but I don't feel any inclination to kind of pick up and reread, carry on reading it. I think I skim read / I roughly know what happens. So I think actually I'm just probably going to unhaul that. No, I'm going to unhaul that one because I can't see me picking it up to read. Longburn I really loved. And then here we have the start of the Shakespeare collection. I've got 3 plays that I have. I've read Much Ado About Nothing. I've read so many times. I don't think I've read King Lear. I've seen it before, but I don't think I've actually read it. And Othello I have read. So I think I'm going to put King Lear on the list. So that's another one. And then behind these ones, I have my complete collection of Shakespeare that I think I found it in a library. I either found it in a library sale or a charity shop. I can't remember which one, but I think it was like £2 or something crazy like that. So I was very excited about that. Then I've got non-fiction notes on directing, Duchess of Malfi, and then I've got these Orchard Tree stories of Shakespeare, which I've just got behind there. So far we are on 26 books on the Physical TBR and 2 books on hold. So I'm going to move down to this shelf now with the poetry on. So here I have the Black Flamingo, The Deepest Breath, Red, White and Whole, Long Way Down, all novels in verse, all read. I have a poetry collection by Chris Riddell, Poems for Living Your Life by, which I've read. The Black Unicorn by Audre Lorde, I have not finished. I've read some of it, but I haven't read all of it. So that is one. And the other ones I have read. I haven't read The Complete Nonsense of Edward Law. I can't read the swirly writing here. Edward Lords, that's it. But again, I'm not putting that on my thing because it is more of a dippy in, dippy out book rather than one that I want to read cover to cover. But Black Unicorn I do, so that's one. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak I have read and I love, and I would love to reread, and I might consider that as a potential reread for next year, but it's not going on the list for now. So just one from here, and then we're going to dive behind Black Unicorn. And we have the Goth Girl collection, which I had forgotten that I'd got in here. Oh, hold on, Deepest Breath's falling out as well, because of course she is. So yeah, I love these books and haven't read them for a while. I would like to reread that series at some point. I've got the more Anne books. So my original copy of Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne of Winter Willows. Then I've got Good Wives, 8 Cousins, Chronicles of Avonlea. Oh, Frederica and the Grand Sophia there as well. Oh yeah, they wouldn't fit up with the paperbacks. And then The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, all of which I've read and haven't got reread plans at the moment. That brings me onto the final 2 shelves downstairs, which are ones you probably see sort of more when I do some of my videos, particularly like I used to do a lot of my TBR game in front of these bookshelves. This is how they look most of the time. I do not use all of the shelves. I just have these 2 which are double stacked. So we're going to start off where we've got more of a fantasy ones here. I'm going to start directly behind me. So I've got the John Gwynne quartet. I've totally put the Faithful and the Fallen, but I've lent Wrath out to my friend. And behind them is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, which I haven't read yet because it's starting a new series that I'm really excited about, but want to tick off a few more series before I get on to this one. So we've got another one here. All of the Chorus of Dragons books I have read and loved. And on this front shelf, we've got some Middlegrade, A Kind of Spark, Impossible Creatures, Root Magic, and The Insiders. Love all of those, but The Impossible Creatures I have not read, so I don't know if I love it. So that's 2 on this shelf. These are my very pretty Terry Pratchett Witches collection, which I love. Read all of those. And then I have the Haunting of Tramcar 015 by P. Jelly Clark, which I've read, and then the complete his novel The Master of Gin, which I have also read. But The Master of Gin is hiding some other books which I will get out for you. So The Master of Gin facing out and is covering up all these books stacked up on their side, looking not very pretty because all you can see is a big load of paper. But these are my Tiffany Aiken books. So they're very, very, very dusty. Let's not look at that. So I've got the last two, The Shepherdess Crown and I Shall Wear Midnight. And the first three, some other ones. Oh, the first three are underneath. So I've got some more Terry Pratchett that I didn't realise was there. Guards, Men at Arms and Thud. And then here are the Tiffany Aiken books. There we go. We Free Men, Hatful Sky and Wintersmith. And then I have a random Sanderson. Random Sanderson, and it's the Mistborn Secret History. Oh, I know why, because up there is the Mistborn, the first era trilogy up there in very pretty covers. So that's why that one is there. That makes sense. Okay. So out of those, I am going to put the Mistborn original trilogy on my list because I've never read from those copies and I would like to reread. So so that's 3. So that then takes it to 32 with the other 2 that I had earlier. I've then got Stephanie Meyer's Twilight and the Host. And here we have another one of my favourite books from when I was younger, Pure Dead Magic, along with Pure Dead Wicked and Pure Dead Brilliant by Debbie Glory. I'm putting the camera in completely the wrong place there. So I do want to reread those, but I'm not sure if it's going to be coming up or if it's going to be later. I have the Extravaganza series. Now, I have read The City of Masks twice, and I've got them in their old covers because I just think they're really cool. So this was before you had all these beautiful, amazing covers that you get now. So at the time, this was absolutely incredible that you have got cutaway bits here with the eyes of the mask over them, and you can see the portrait of Venice, and then you've got like purple swirly bits. So this one is set in Venice, and then I have never read the City of Stars or the City of Flowers. I know there are 3 more, but I stopped there because I hated the covers that the other ones came in. So I've only managed to track these 2 down from World of Books with these new covers. So I definitely do want to read those at some point, and I would reread City of Masks again. So I'm going to include all 3. So that means we are now on 35 books. So these 2 books were lying on top of the others at the back because I'm running out of room. So Divine Rivals I have read. The Crimson Moth I haven't, so that's another one. The Ones We Burn, The Bonesmith, The Mercies, haven't read any of those. And then I do have the first 3 books in the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson, Skyward, Starsight and Cytonic. And I haven't read any of them. And until I'm reading those, I'm not going to get the 4th one. And I don't know if there are books behind that I might have just wedged in, but I'm just going to check and see without them all crashing down on me. No, they were pushed right to the back of the wall. There is nothing there, and I wasn't sure if I'd hidden something behind there, but no, I haven't. That is all the books on this shelf. So we are on 42 books, and the last shelf down here, again, double stacked. So Nutcracker, Little Women, Goodnight Mr. Tom, read all of those, but Little Women I haven't read from this copy, same with Bally Shoes. The Cat Who Saved Books I have read. I have the second Richard Osman Thursday Murder Club book, The Man Who Died Twice. The first one I've lent out to a friend, and I haven't read either of those, so that is 2. I'm gonna put Little Women and Bally Shoes on it as well, so that is 4. Blackwater Sister I have read, that's Facing Out, and there is Spice Road, which I have read. Blood Scion I need to read, so that is another one, and The Sky Beyond the Storm I have read, and it's getting stuck next to Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Okay, all right, that whole behind here I've hidden some paperbacks and stacked them. I have read all of those paperbacks, so that's all the number 1 Ladies Detective Agency, Bernardine Evaristo's Girl, Woman, Other, Matt Haig's Midnight Library. The other two books in the Millennium Trilogy, The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. I want to rearrange those so I can put The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo with them. I haven't read The Selfless Act of Breathing, but I have read We Are Displaced. That's one from that pile. And then here we've got YA and middle grade. And I need to read Where the Light Goes, read the two Benjamin Deans, read the Michael Monpergo, read See You in the Cosmos, read Rumblestar, read Melissa, read Catawampus. I'm going to reread the Polar Bear Club, Explorers Club, and it's coming up to winter time, so that is definitely going to go into the mix now, because I've only read that one. I haven't continued with the series and I want to. Read The Secrets of the Sun King, Lizzie and Belle, haven't read Evie's Ghost, and haven't read Orion Lost, so I'm just going to work out what that means. Okay, so we are now on 52 books. I have read the Juno Dawson, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Final Strife I haven't read yet because it's, again, starting a series, but I'm very excited and anticipating that one. Haven't read The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I haven't read The Giver Quartet. So that's The Giver, Gathering Blue, Messenger and Sun by Lois Lowry, but I really want to. And this has been on here for a while, so it's very overdue to be read. I'd say that's definitely a TBR vet. So that means we are another 6 books added. So that's 58 books. And I have read all of these ones: Library of the Dead, The Help, The Vanishing Half, Genderqueer, and Gender, A Graphic Guide. Here's some more non-fiction. I haven't read Bloody Brilliant Women. I haven't read Jane Austen at Home. I've read Jane Austen's Guide to Dating. I've read Black on Both Sides. I've read Why I'm No Longer Talking About Race. I haven't read The Guilty Feminist, and I haven't read Audre Lorde's The Master's Tools. So that is another 4 books to add. Oh, and I've read The Little Book of Pride. And behind, I have this book by Doon McKeon, My Lady Parts. So let's add those. We are on 63 books. I haven't read any of the Law of Tetris by E.A. Pearl. So I've got Firestone, Orbis and Tempest to read. Again, starting another series, which is why I haven't got to them yet. I have read all of these Rosemary Sutcliffe historical fiction books. I've read Queenie. I'm now putting out books that are stacked precariously. I haven't read the Chronicles of a Cairo Bookseller. I haven't read Conjure Women. I have read Beloved, and the last one is a middle grade, which doesn't really fit in there, but yeah, that's the Castle of Tangled Magic, and I've read that. So from downstairs, I've now come upstairs because my children were doing an amazing job at trying to be quiet whilst I filmed, but were starting to struggle. So I have 65 books on my physical TBR from downstairs. And we're only at 18 minutes on the clock, so I haven't decided whether or not I just keep going and do upstairs as well, or if I save that for another video. So I have a split second to make that decision. It should feel like for you, but I'm going to have a drink of water and pause it so actually I can give myself a bit more time. And I've decided we're going to keep going. So we're going to continue counting all of my upstairs books now. So then that will be all of the books on my shelves in my physical TBR accounted for. But still got this under the bed drawer that is still pretty full to bursting, despite me having had a year of hauling. Trying to haul from that drawer onto my shelves. But also I have still been buying books, so we will work that out when we get there. But let's do the shelves. So currently I'm sat in my chair by the window, and on this shelf tends to be the books are due to be talking about in my next wrap up. So this is August here because I still haven't filmed the August wrap up, so they are sat patiently waiting. So all of those are read, so we're not going to worry about that. We are going to move down to right next to me. I have these 2 wicker baskets which I put books in as like I've made my own mini bookshelves, and then I do have another shelf under the window, and these all kind of live close by. These tend to be ones where there are going to be a lot of books that I haven't read yet, because I keep these sort of more close to me as like books coming up, books I want to remember, books I want to try and read. So we're probably going to get some quite high numbers now. So I'm just going to try and film around the mess, but we'll see how successful that is. So here are the two wicker bookshelves I have, full to bursting. And I've got Lucy Maud propped up here. It's a board book, A Little People's Big Dreams of Ellen Montgomery. So first shelf, The Magicians. I need to read. The Skull I've read. Girl Warrior Girl Unearthed. I absolutely need to read, and I feel very sad that I haven't. I think that's definitely becoming one of those books where I'm excited for it and want to read it at the perfect time. Under Rose Tainted Skies, I also definitely need to read, and that is starting to become a very much a veteran book that I just haven't got to yet. Pet, I need to read. Ikenga, I need to read. I've read Dawn Shard. I need to read The Hat Makers. That is another one that's been hanging around. But that one, and also The Snow Girl next to it, do feel like wintry books. So we are heading into the season where I'm more likely to be picking them up. But The Hat Maker is the start of a series. So that might mean it's not going to be picked up yet, because we know what I'm like with starting series. I want to be able to commit to them. The Nature of Witches, that has also been on my shelf for a really long time. And I think that has also been sat there as a book that I'm really anticipating but haven't picked up yet. But I do feel the season is coming to read that one. And this is where I keep all my bookmarks, which if you're interested, I will show you. So it's one of these books where it's not a book. It's a hollow book, and it is full to the brim. I do need to sort this out. I might do that. I might do a video of sorting out my bookmarks and reorganizing those. That is just, I do not need that many bookmarks, but I like to keep them there. I do like to try and match my bookmarks to suit my book as possible when I can. But anyway, I digress. I still haven't read this journal, Transmuted, which I've had for a long time. And again, I think it's because it's really small and it's easy to pick up and read. I just haven't. I've been prioritizing the bigger trans books when I've been reading non-fiction. So that's still there. So that's another one. So we are on 74. I have read Frugal Wizard. You might notice that it's not currently being displayed. It's just been shoved on top of this lovely little drawer of books. Boop, boop. So this, I love these because it gives me so much more storage. So in this drawer, can we talk about it without getting everything out? We have Malamander, which I haven't read. 100,000 Kingdoms, haven't read. Parable of the Sower, haven't read. Mexican Gothic, haven't read. Wolf, Tiger and the Wolf, I think it is, by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Yes, Tiger and the Wolf, haven't read. Haunting of Evelyn Jones, I have. Goddess Crown, I have not. The Dragon's Path, I have not read. And The Foundling, I have not read. So pretty much this whole box I need to read. Yeah, the numbers are jumping up. We're on 82. Shawful, funny enough, as it's a sequel to Foundryside, I've not read it. Wings of Ebony, I have not read. I can't remember what this is called. I think it's Temptation of Magic. It's the Fairy Loot edition. Haven't read. The Tempest of Tea, I have read. Threads That Bind, I haven't read. And this copy, I have read Anne of Green Gables, but this copy I haven't read. But I still haven't read The Secret Garden, so I'm not going to count this one for this year because my focus is going to be on reading The Secret Garden as a children's classic reread. I haven't read Thamesis Street, which is, that was an extra book that we got from the shelter box. 30 authors tell one story of a climate disaster. And I also have this World Book Day free book, which is Peak Peril, which is a little extra from Shana Jackson's High Rise Mysteries, and I haven't read that one either. And then we've got some picture books and also Queer Heroes tucked down here, which really should be on the shelf downstairs, but I can't fit it on there. But I'm not counting that because, again, it's a dip in and dip out book. Bringing us to 88 books. I did say it was going to shoot up quite drastically from coming in this corner. So we're going to move over to the other shelf I have here. Oh, hold on. Actually, we've got a floor pile. So I do have a floor pile. I have managed to get rid of a certain amount of floor pile, but I still have this left. I have now read Rhythm of War. I haven't read Patchwork or The Lamplighters or The Principle of Moments. So that is another 3 to add on to that. So that brings us to 91 books. And then this is a very terrible hodgepodge. I've shoved it in shelf here as I'm trying to scramble for space. We've got picture books, book lights, notepads, but under that I do have, because I just haven't got anywhere to fit it at the moment, Life After Life by Kate Atkinson, which I haven't read. This is a pile of like notebooks, prayer books and stuff. Load of picture books here. I don't count picture books in things I need to read, but these are specifically my picture books that are for me, not my children. And then I have got Cursed Light, Vicious Grace I've read. Haven't read, I think it's called The Forest Grimm. Haven't read Gobstopping Gossip. I've read My Pen is the Wing of a Bird, which is a short story collection. I've read the Binti trilogy and love it. And can't quite get the camera angle, but there we go. Rainbow Grey trilogy, read and loved. Haven't read The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This is a massive hodgepodge. I think this is just a case of when I've moved my books around, just ones that have been on display for a bit, just moving them to the back so I can see other ones. But there is no rhyme or reason to this collection at all. I would like to organise my shelves into more of a genre-specific collection, but I have not been able to do that. It is very much a case of Tetris and trying to get the books to just fit on the shelf. Okay, moving up to the next shelf here, we have... Oh, what number are we on? Also, mistake by angling the camera. We've got an underhang here. I've just touched another book up here. I have nearly missed out on Riot Baby, which I still haven't read either. Really need to rectify that one too. But again, lucky to have so many books that are opportunities. Maybe that's because it's just been hidden. I didn't even know it was there. Okay, let's move Riot Baby so I can remember I have that one. And maybe just put some books. I'll organise that later, but put some books I haven't read hidden. I have read hidden. Okay, right, great. So I need to add that one. So that means we are now on 95, 96 books. Okay, I have the Daughter of the Moon Goddess and the Heart of the Sun Warrior. Haven't read the Heart of the Sun Warrior. Haven't read the Girl of Ink and Stars. Haven't read the Son of the Void. Haven't read the Girls in the Wild Fig Tree. All of which I do want to read. But that brings us to 100 books. So if I haven't found another 46 on my shelves, and I'm exactly the same place. If it's less, I'm doing better than last year. If it's more, I'm doing worse than last year. Let's see how we go. Right, I've got 2 drawers here, so I'm going to go through them one at a time. So I'm not obviously counting library books in this, so we're not going to count The Water Outlaws. Sleep Like Death, I need to read. The Darkness Within Us, need to read. Sinead Burke's Break the Mold, I need to read. Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, I haven't read that copy, but I have read. Prince of Denmark, I need to read. Legends and Lattes, I've read. Blood, Paint, Water, I need to read. A Midsummer Night's Dream Team, I need to read. And Finley Macbeth, I need to read. After swapping over the boxes, we are on 107. And I have read Solitaire and the Two Pages and Co-books. I've read... I can't see the title. The Conductors, silly me. I've read Typhoon. I haven't read the last 3. That's 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, Mrs. Moore Goes Missing, or A People's History of Heaven. So that takes us to 110. And behind the other books, we have The Midnight in Everwood, which I have read. I have read all of the Pinch of Magic Widdisham Sisters books. I haven't read Wild Spark. I haven't read The Midnight Guardians or Stormkeeper's Island. I've read Ship of Shadows. I haven't read Us Against You. I've borrowed that from a friend. I probably should read it. But again, we're getting to colder months, so that one will happen. So that takes us to 111, 12, 13, 114. So we have 4 more shelves. These 2, which are like Tetris puzzles, we've got a mixture of books on their side and books standing up, and they're both double stacked. And then we have sort of a display shelf, so we're going to go through that one. And then up at the top, it is essentially my Robin Hobb shelf, but there are other books hidden behind it. So let's start here with the Hobb. I'm just going to move all the candles and things I've got in front of it, just because I do like candles, but I don't always have great places to store them, so they kind of just randomly go in front of bookshelves. This is the beautiful shelf of Hobb. So we have the Farseer trilogy, we have the Live Ship Traders trilogy, we have the novella The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, we have the Tawny Man trilogy, then we have the Dragon, the Rainwild Chronicles, which should be, in my opinion, a trilogy, but they're a quartet. And then we have finally the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, and I've read all of them and they're amazing, but I do want to reread them, but I'm not going to add them onto the physical TBR. So behind them I have got Ink Spell, which I have read, and also Ink Death, which I have also read. And then the other way we have got Fragile Enchantment, which I haven't read. And then we have The City of Nightmares, which I have read. And then we have, Edge Dancer is hiding here. And The Handmaid's Tale, which I've read both of those. Again, it is very much a case of just shoving books where I can fit them. So just one on this shelf? Yeah, just one. Okay, we're on the pretty shelf now because I'm saving the scary ones till last. I have got the Stormlight Archive, the first 3 books, which I've read. City of Brass, I have read. Empire of Gold, I haven't read. The Starless Sea, I have read, but I haven't read from this particular copy. I am in 2 minds about whether or not I'm going to put it on my TBR. So I've not read from that copy. I do want to read. I've not read from the copy and I do want to reread it. So yes, I am. So that's 2. Behind it, we have Silver in the Bone, which I haven't read. Reap of the Gates, I have read. See, my Saboteur quartet is all over the place. I would like it together, but I clearly can't fit it in. Haven't read The Kingdom of Back. I have read The Order of the Moon Reflected in Water and the Winter Night trilogy. I still haven't read Frontier. This is a book that I'm so keen to read that I've had it for ages. And it just hasn't been its time. I think, again, it's just one of those where I'm just saving it for the perfect reading moment. I have read Sing Me to Sleep, and I have read all of the Heartstopper books that I have on this shelf here. So we're on 130, and I haven't done these 2 shelves. So I kind of feel there are going to be at least 16 books that we're going to uncover that I haven't read that are on my physical TBR. So I think that I haven't, in terms of having books on my shelves, read better than last year. I don't think it's going to be the same. I would love it if the books under my bed then gave me a better number, but I really don't know. So we're going to have to find out. So let's start at the top because I think this one will be more successful. So we have Upon a Burning Throne, which I haven't read. If I Had to Be Haunted, I haven't read, so that's 2. Inkheart, I've read. The Bloodsworn first 2 books I have read. Raising Steam, I have read. There's a little book here. Again, it's because I didn't know. I couldn't quite fit it in anywhere. And this is Everdark. I feel it can't quite be the full Everdark because this is the World Book Day one that my friend was getting rid of books and I was like, oh, pass me that one. I do want to get the rest of the Unmatched Chronicles. Anyway, tangents. I have read the Wizards of Once quartet. I haven't read Song of Silver Flame Like Night. And that is facing out, so we're going to pull it down and see the chaos behind. All of those I've read. All of those I have read because they are Terry Pratchett's and Ellis Peters. The book, Bookworm, A Memoir of Childhood Reading, I haven't read. Terry Pratchett's Guards and The Last Hero I've read, plus Going Postal and Making Money. I haven't read The City of Girls, and I haven't read, this is a recent one, The Girl with No Reflection. I haven't read either of those 2. Right, behind those We are currently on 136 books, which means 10 books. And it's so obvious that I'm not going to make it. So I haven't read. Again, we've got such a weird mishmash of stuff here. And I think it's because most of my fantasy books are hardbacks, not paperbacks. So when I need to do stacking, I really can't do stacking with hardbacks. So we've got a mixture in here of fantasy and random. A non-fiction, Galileo's Daughter, I haven't read. That's 137. 138, Ross Poldark. 139, Demelza. I have read The Secret Life of Bees. I don't think I'm going to reread this. I don't think I enjoyed it, and I definitely felt I was going to reread it, but that's before I really wanted a load of other books and fell in love with more books. So I'm going to unhaul The Secret Life of Bees. Do I want to unhaul The Other Boleyn Girl? I don't know. I don't know if I would ever read it again. I definitely went through a period where I really loved it, and I definitely read. No, I'm unhauling The Other Boleyn Girl. I'm sorry, she's going, or is she? Am I just feeling nostalgic for who I used to be when I read books? Yeah, I've kept hold of this because it represented. I've read a load. I went through a period of reading a load of Philippa Gregory books, and I enjoyed them, and then it felt quite like a lot, and then I haven't felt inclined to pick it up. I feel like I've done that time, but I kept this one because this was one of the first ones I read, and I did enjoy it a lot, but I'm not going to reread it. And I think there's so many other historical fiction books that are going to hold a more special place in my heart, so she's going. Okay, oh golly. Oh, and behind here I've got another non-fiction Radhika story, which I have read. Okay, I've totally lost track of what I was counting now. So let me just check. We're on 139. Okay. I have read and loved the Lycaonius trilogy. I feel these need to come back out and be centre again because I missed them. But it involved me reorganising my bookshelves. Like I said, paperbacks are very few and far between, so I can actually squeeze them in. Jade War, Jade Legacy. I don't have Jade City, so I haven't read those because I haven't read Jade City, and that's the first one, and I don't have it, and I need to have that before I can start reading that series. And it's starting a series, so I know I haven't read any of them. But that does mean that we are now on 141 books. Yes, 141. So The Prey of Gods I have read. So we're 5 books off hitting the same. Right, these I think are all Georgette Heyer. Yes, so that is my Georgette Heyer paperback collection, which are in various different conditions. So we're not going to touch that. I've read those. I definitely want to reread them. I feel I haven't given myself that opportunity so far because I've just got distracted by all the pretty new things. Okay, and behind, there are some I'd forgotten about that were hidden behind here. So I have an Anne Tyler, a Spool of Blue Thread, which I haven't read. So that is 142. Love Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Want to reread. Here Comes the Sun brings us to 143. The Colour of Air, 144. And the rest are Michelle Magorian, Goodnight Mr. Tom, my original one. Just Henry, Cooker in the Nest and a Spoonful of Jam, all of which I've read. We're on to the second shelf with only 2 books. Frostheart, I have read. Jamie, I have read. Onyeka and the Rise of the Rebels, I've read. Sisters of the Lost March, I've read. Wilder Than Midnight, I've read. Tamarind and the Star of Ishtar, which I've borrowed from my mum, I have not read. The poetry collection, Wearing My Mother's Heart, I have not read. So there we go, we're at 146. And Secret of Haven Point, I have read. But Arkspire, I have not. That is 147, officially worse than last year. Koku, Akabani, and The Heart of Midnight, I have read, as I have read Keedy. Adrian Tarkovsky's The Doors of Eden, not read it. Hood, not read it. This is The Beautiful Flowers of Felix. So that's Felix Ever After, which I've read. I have read all of these Angie Thomas books. I haven't read Let's Call It a Doomsday. I have read Brandon Sanderson. This is my copy of Pickwick Papers from the library, so I'm not counting that. I haven't read Before the Queen Falls Asleep, and I haven't read Secrets of the Stars. Again, such mishmashes in these paperbacks to try and squeeze them all in is generally starting to upset me, the terrible state that my books are in. The Twin Crowns, I have not read. It's starting a series. Percy Jackson, original series from The Lightning Thief to The Last Olympian, I have read. Maya Angelou's memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, I've read. Gathered Together in My Name, I've also read. But again, they're just randomly stuck with a load of fiction. And The Seven Faceless Saints, I haven't read. Zen chose Sorcerer to the Crown. That is my new copy because I love Sorcerer to the Crown. Had it in paperback, found this gorgeous hardback, and I love it so much. It makes me happy to have it in hardback as well. I am going to reread it. So I'm going to add that because it's a new copy. I'm going to add that to the list. I'm planning next year, I'm going to reread that Sorcerer to the Crown duology. So yeah, so that is another one. And then behind it, we have got more books waiting for us. These are wedged together so beautifully, I'm not getting them out. But we have, at the bottom and at the top, we have the Shades of Magic trilogy, and we have Addie LaRue, all by V.E. Schwab. At some point, my Schwabs are going to leave this house because I have not enjoyed them, but I haven't finished. I paused, whatever this one's called, A Conjuring of Light. I paused A Conjuring of Light because it annoyed me a lot. And I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to pick it up and carry on and see if it gets better. Because I enjoyed the other two to a certain extent. But that one just made me so mad that I now genuinely, I struggle with all of them. So I haven't decided that. Jury's out, so we're counting it for now. So that's another one. The Last Dance and Other Stories by Victoria Hislop, and then the Chaos Walking trilogy. So the top 5 in this pile I need to read. And then here, right, well, I found another Michelle Magorian here, which could definitely fit up there. So that needs moving. I think I've read everything in this pile. The Girl Who Speaks Bear, Back Home. There's the rest of the Saboteur here. Ember and the Ashes Quartet. Ember and the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night. Here's my paperback copy of Sorcerer to the Crown by Zencho and The True Queen by Zencho. Then I have Once We Were Witches and Twice We Make Magic and the Peter Bunzel's Cogheart series. I've got the first 3 books in that, and I've read all of them, so that's nice. Moving along. I have got Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and Oathbringer, all in paperback form, all of which read. Strange the Dreamer, I haven't read yet. Again, it's a duology. It's starting something new, so I haven't picked it up. And City of Strife is also a book I'm really interested in. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. It's a queer fantasy. I got it from this amazing bookshop in Leeds. It sounds awesome. I'm excited about it, but I haven't picked it up yet. So yeah, I will find out. I'll find out when its time is. So that is another 2, bringing us to 162. And woo, the final wiggle. Come on, wiggle. Final pile of books here. I've read The Humans. I haven't read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I really want to. I need to wiggle all these books around and start thinking about ones I want to get on my list for next year. But yes, I haven't read that one. I haven't read An Hour to the Moon. I have now read Arc of Scythe, which is very exciting. Legend Bond I've read. Beartown I've read. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet I have read. Oh, there's the Tiny Onyeka and the Secret Superheroes, which I've read. Haven't read A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. But again, I'm very excited. But it's the start of a series, so it currently remains untouched until I've ticked off some more series and then can embrace new ones. So I am
talking to you from my floor. That brings me to a grand total of 165 books on my physical TBR. And we haven't looked under the bed. So for me to have improved from last year, so it was a total of 230 books. So just pause to do some mental maths there. So if under my bed there is only 65 books, then I will have equaled 230, which was my books total physical TBR from last year. Yeah. I do not feel that I have managed to drop the 84 books to 200 to 65. I do not feel that that is the case, because whilst I have been hauling some books, I don't think that I've managed to earn that many from under the bed, because a lot of also what I've earned and that has appeared in my hauls have been ones that I may have newly acquired and put under there and then come out again because of all the amazing pre-orders that I got myself this year and book shopping sprees. So I don't feel that I have managed to get it down at all. So that is a nice goal. I also don't think that my love of the library has helped this. But we shall see. Anyway, do you want to see the chaos? Like I said, I've slumped against the bed. And that's the state of my shelves, with me pulling books out left, right and centre. And then we've now got floor piles, and you can see my disgusting trousers. Look at all the books on the floor. Woo! So I'm going to attempt to get all the books back on the shelf, which I'm not sure how easy it's going to be. I'm also hungry, so I think I probably need to eat first, get some energy for all of that heavy book lifting. I was going to try and film the under the bed books today. I don't know if I can face it. I might just stay in denial for a little bit longer, but I'm so grateful to have all these books that I'm excited about. I've unhauled 4 books, and all of those books I have at least started to read, if not completely read. So that feels good. There are definitely books on here, I think definitely from the book subscription boxes that I've got, where I think there are some books that aren't going to work for me. So I definitely think next year, one of the things I want to do is I want to be doing some more try a chapter books, to the point of going, do I want these books? Do I want to unhaul these books? Because currently this is my shelf space. We have plans, but they are much further down in the future in terms of complete room redecoration, where we have plans for bookshelves to go up. Because also I am sharing book collections with my husband is starting to lose room on his books as well. I'm sure he won't mind me sharing. But yeah, we've got his book collections there underneath mine, and he used to just have single shelves, and now, as you notice, we've started to get some stacking going on here. So yeah, he's also running out of room, but also he does not turn the camera. He doesn't unhaul. He likes to have his books as like, this is what I've read. So I don't know how practical that is going to be. Oh, he's got one of my books in his pile. Hold on. Oh no, I didn't pause it, so I just spun it round. There we go, some dead air there for you. So at the top of pile number 2, Phil Wang, Side Splitter. That's my book. That's one of the books I got from Shelter Box Book Club, but I let him read it first because there was no way I was going to be getting to it anytime soon. But that's actually mine. So that's 166 books. 166 books. I got a lot of reading to do, which is great. I also just need to go, don't buy more books. Don't buy more books. You have no room. Don't do it. which is why I've been utilising the library, because I've definitely been telling myself that. But then I'm not reading the books on my shelves. But I am reading books, and I am supporting authors and having all that good stuff. And I am into a full-on waffle now, because when I stop talking to you, that means I have to get up off this floor and actually put these books away. So I think I'm definitely procrastinating. So let's stop now. Okay. Thank you so much. If you're still here for the on the floor in front of my shelves Chattie Crash, then put a picture of an explosion, because I feel that's quite apt in the emojis. Please let me know, how do you feel about your personal collection of books? Are you someone that collects books? Are you someone that likes to use the library or likes to use e-readers? Do you like to count up your books and go, how much need do I have to actually read, and reacquaint yourself with certain books? And do you like to reorganize your shelves? I would love to do that, but I've already ignored my children for far too long. I need to go and be more active in their life. So there's no way I'm going to be able to reorganize my bookshelves right now, even though I want to. I would love to do that. Right, I'm still waffling. Stop the waffle. Please chat to me in the comments. I love a chat. I'd love to talk about your thoughts on your books and what you like to do with them. It just, bookiness is fun. Stop waffling. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and enjoy reading the books that you have.